All right, folks, because everybody's time is valuable, we're going to get started. People come in, they can catch up as they go. So my name is Brian Travis. I am the president of the Bloomingdale Barracuda board here. And I help keep the team running, help organize and such. I do not coach. I'm one of the parents. My son is a swimmer. He's a senior this year at Lake Park High School. This is his last year on the team. It's been many, many years because I've had a couple children go through the program now for me. Our other board members, we have Nancy Duxbury, serving as record keeper and treasurer. We have Melissa Graham over there, awards and ribbons and all around just everything. John Pat director of concessions and all around great guy. And then we have our members at large. Doug Burke, who's right now at Lake Park High School with his son in an award ceremony, which is where my wife is with my son. Alex Carbonell, and then Lisa Weisgerberg, who was unable to be here tonight. We took a little bit of time to talk about the season and what it is and some details for you guys. So, our website is really the key to getting to know everything you would do as a parent and as a swimmer. But it's not just the website, it's also, okay, got a little sound there, unexpectedly. But it's also the app. So you have an app that you can work with here. Let me get this right. And the app is the On Deck app, which you can get on your phone, whether it's Android or iPhone. And it'll have almost everything you need to get on to our information. So, let me bring this up here. All right. All right, here we go. So, as it's loading now. So, the apps and the website will let you get on to see when all the meets are, when the practices are, terms for volunteering, which we'll get into in just a moment. Here we go, Bloomingdale Barracuda's up here. So, as you'll see, if you look at our calendar and such, the very first event coming up for anyone here is new swimmer evaluations, 1 week from today, all right? And that is, weather right now looks awesome, 80 degrees, no rain, okay, which isn't always the case for that time of May, especially in the state and place we live in right now. But that doesn't mean next week is for 5 to 7. That doesn't mean they're in the pool for 2 hours. That means they get in the water, they swim across, and they get out. Okay, so it's really more of a 10-minute thing at the most. And then if you have any questions, more once you're out on the pool deck, you can come up to us and ask those questions. Right? It's a good chance for us to give you a little tour of the deck where things are for the swimmers or maybe just the parents. But the idea is they hop in the water, they go across, and the coaches will talk more about that, and they get out the other side. That's the point of the new swimmer evaluations, just to make sure they are ready for what is coming for them. Okay? So then on Thursday next week, there's a day off in between, the Wednesday. The Thursday is when we actually start our evening practices. We have to have evening practices. Bloomingdale School District is still in session all the way through, I think, June 7th or something like that, or June 8th, later than most of the other schools in the area are up here. And then, so that'll be 12 and under are from 5 to 6 p.m., and then the 13s and up are from 6 to 7 p.m. If you have children in 2 different areas, they can hang out there while the other one's on the water and then jump in while the other one's out. Okay, that's fine to sit there. Parents, you're welcome to stay and stuff. Have some towels and stuff like that. Hopefully the temperatures will be great, but you never know. You want to have a bathroom for them or some towels to toss on them when they get out of the water. Then, of course, I think it's June 8th then, we start, it's that Friday, a couple weeks out, that we can actually start our morning practices. That is also when dive gets to start, okay? Because we'll have our mornings, we'll have our time then to put people in the water for dive also, which is later on in the morning. Okay, so once the mornings begin, if you haven't picked up on it already, 13s and under, 13s and over are the early birds, like my son. Okay, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. I tell you, it makes them sleep great at night in the summer. And then 9 to 12 is the 8 a.m. to the 9:30 a.m. 8 and under is 8:45 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. So they are only in the water for an hour. Then dive begins promptly at 9:30 and goes to 11. All right. As always, the coaches will determine whether practices will always take place. Again, the weather doesn't always agree around here. So they will, on the app, they will send out notifications that you have a choice of getting either via text messages or directly through the SMS, the automatic receive you'll get from the app that'll pop up on your phone right away with notifications. Okay? An email also goes out in that term, but we check our email constantly, not everybody. I find the phone more useful because you get it immediately. If there's a thunderstorm coming or predicted to hit, they're not going to hold practices out on the deck, okay? It might only be one group that is canceled because the storm blows by and then the next group gets in, or it's too cold to get in the water. My daughter would swear there was ice on the water sometimes. That's not really the case, but obviously the kids will say it's pretty chilly in there. Often you'll find the water is warmer than the air, so they don't want to get out, okay? It's kind of nice in that case. But the circumstances are always different.
Oh, can I stop for one moment? And sometimes they'll ask you guys to bring gym shoes for the kids. So if the weather is iffy, they'll text and they'll say, bring clothes, we may go in the gym if it rains. So know that that's an option at times too.
So even though the website and the app are a huge amount of the information, some things do come in through the swimmers divers mailboxes. So there is a closet right outside of this wall here that we have for swim team. It's packed full of stuff. And there is this rolling cart we bring out that has mailboxes, folder slots. And in there we'll have every family name. So if you have 2 swimmers, all their stuff will go into that same folder. And in there sometimes you'll get pieces of paper and we'll announce, we'll say, hey, t-shirt orders are coming up or things like that, or we'll give out their ribbons. They don't go through the website so well. So the ribbons go into the mailboxes and the kids should anxiously get out of the pool every day and look in their mailbox and then bring home whatever they have in there for you, okay? And that could be great stuff about what they've done or accomplished, things like that. And that's what is, you're to then go and take it home and hang it on your chandelier at home, so it's over the dining room table, so they can see all the stuff that they've earned. That's just what we do in my house. But that's the kind of thing you can do with what they find in their mailboxes, okay? Ribbons, as I just mentioned, are awarded after each meet. Right? Sometimes those ribbons take a while to get because they're still learning strokes and things like that. But eventually, when they do have them, those ribbons are to tell them what they've accomplished meet after meet. So they come out, if it's a Wednesday meet, they'll typically come out on a Friday morning. If it's a Saturday meet, they'll typically come out on Monday or Tuesday. With away meets, sometimes we don't get the results right away, so they could be delayed and such like that. But whatever it is, they will usually have them by the following meet. They'll have them out before that. On the doors of the closet, we put up all the results for the team, so they can see how they are against other swimmers in their age group, how they are personally doing as they get faster and faster and learn their strokes, such like that. So they get to run up there and see in the door where they fall in the group and how they're personally doing. Again, this is really about them competing with themselves more than anything else. But they're kids. Sometimes I like to get up there and see how they're doing against everybody else. All right, picture day, Friday, June 2nd. Sounds kind of early, but that is the day when they will come in and things have changed, since COVID. So what happens now is we'll have 2 different corners of the pool set up, and there'll be 2 photographers here, and they will go and take pictures of everybody in their new suits or whatever they have, and they'll do families, they'll do singles, whatever you want, and then they modulate it and put it all together into this big group mass photo of the swim team. We used to put everybody up on stands and all, 100 whatever people are standing. They don't do that anymore. So they go with Photoshop it all together. There's going to be a separate group for the dive also. So they'll put a dive picture together too. That's one of those things we'll talk about as we get to that day. There is ice cream actress, photo day, because we really don't get in the pool a whole lot during photo day. It's one of those kind of, we don't have time to really swim. It's just more for the fun as it will. But we'll hopefully get everybody out for that. And that's again on the calendar, and we'll send out reminders. Team breakfast, a little bit later this year with the way the schedule worked out, is Friday, June 23rd. It's a lot of fun. All family members are invited, okay? Grandma, grandpa, anybody you want to come who would be participating, maybe coming to swim meets and such. And the team goes and puts together a really big breakfast, okay? We make tons of pancakes, we have tons of bacon and some sausage. People bring donuts and fruit and bagels and you name it, okay? It is there and juice like that. And after they get out of the water and they're really hungry, instead of running to Starbucks, we say, come over here. Get your plate, have some fruit, have some food, sit down, bring mom and dad out there if they want to take off work that morning or something like that, or go in late and such. And of course, we'll be asking you to help contribute to that. The team puts in a lot of that, but having a couple extra donuts always helps out for that kind of thing. And if you're great flipping flapjacks and you're great making scrambled eggs, we'll encourage you to come help us out too. Because the more people doing it, the faster it gets done. Other fun stuff we do. We have conference pasta parties as we get closer and closer to the end of the season. And similarly to the breakfast, we hope everybody will contribute. The team will buy a bunch of stuff, but people will bring in their favorite dish. Maybe you make a great macaroni and cheese with bacon. I don't know. Maybe you make a great sausage dish with spaghetti. We ask you to bring that in. Big pot of it and stuff like that, and we cover 100 feet of tables, and we put it all out, and the team comes in and all eats at tables all around our gymnasium. As you can see, there's a graduation down there right now. We fill the gymnasium with the swim team, and it's a lot of fun. And we show this for the current season and such like that, and there's music, and it's a lot of fun and desserts. But that's to get everybody ready for the big final meet of the year, and there are 2 of them, which we'll get into a little bit later, okay? All right, I just said a lot very quickly, but I would like to introduce our coaches now. So we have our head swim coach, Coach Gabby.
Hi guys.
Right. We have Joey, Coach Joey, and we have Coach Tony. And we have an aide also coach who helps out with a little bit of everything, and that is Cameron, and he is at Lake Park. He's a graduating senior right now, so he could not be here tonight. And I would like to introduce our dive coach, Tom.
Hello.
So I'm going to allow now the coaches to talk to you. When they are finished talking to the parents, I'm going to ask the coaches to take if you're comfortable with that, take our new swimmers and divers out to the hall, down toward the entranceway there, and there's couches, let they sit around, and just kind of talk to them a little bit, kind of get to know each other and stuff like that. And then parents can talk a little bit too. Coach Gabby, you want to start us off?
My name is Joey. I'm gonna coach the 9-10s. I swam for Barracuda since I was very little, like 6 or 7. I've been here for a while. Currently I'm a college freshman. I go to Bradley and I major in graphic design. And this is gonna be technically my first year as an official coach on the team, but I've assisted 2 years before.
My name is Tony. I'm going to be coaching 5 through 8 kids. This will be my second year coaching. I've been on the team before this for about, I think, 7 years. I was trying to do the math in my head over there. I currently go to U of I. I am a sophomore and I'm studying political science.
Okay, I'm Gabby. I'm the head coach. This is going to be my second year as head coach, but my 3rd year coaching overall. I just had to come back. I love them. I am currently studying nursing at Carthage College, and I have swam for about 15 years competitively. I swam for the Barracudas my whole life growing up, and then I also swam for the clubs Hickory Willow and Academy Bullets. I don't know if any of you have heard of them. But I also am working another job this summer. I'm going to be working at Lutheran General at Advocate Children's in the PICU as a nursing assistant, so I'm going to be bouncing back and forth. But I do want to just talk to you guys a little bit, just like bring up some stuff like that happened last year and like things we had concerns with and how you can reach us and everything, if that's all right. We really encourage your kids to come to practice. I know it's tough getting up early in the morning, we get it, but the more that they come to practice, the easier it's going to get for them, the better they're going to get. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be cold some mornings, but those mornings we will do dry land. So I really encourage you guys to put gym shoes and socks in your child's bags. I don't know exactly what days that'll be. Some days, even if it's not cold, I'll make them run or we'll do some stuff on the pool deck. So just if they always have that, then they're always prepared, and then that helps us. Picture day, if you guys have ordered new team suits, and I'm sure they'll cover this, but if they haven't come in yet, because that's happened sometimes, just put your child in a black or a blue, like a navy blue suit, and then usually, it fits right in. Please make sure that we do have your emails or your phone numbers, because we do send out text updates about practices, meets, all that kind of fun stuff, and sometimes they're sent last minute, like when we really need to let you guys know. Sometimes they're really early in the morning before practice. Sometimes they're right before a meet if we have to do changes or anything. So we want you guys to always be aware of what's going on. I check my email every day, but because I'm working 2 jobs, I might not respond to you like immediately. So if I don't, I'm sorry, but I will respond. Throughout the season, we do try to be as fair as possible. We had some issues last year with parents getting upset, so I just want to make sure that I'm saying it. It's highly likely that your child will be swimming multiple events more than once. They will be placed in exhibitions. That is okay. They are racing against themselves as well as other people. So everyone, we just try to keep it as fair as possible. There's a lot of them.
Explain the exhibition.
Okay. There's a lot of them, but there's not a lot of events. So exhibition, that's where they're going to get a rainbow ribbon. You're going to see a rainbow ribbon in their mailbox. They're swimming in a lane. But it doesn't count towards
1 or 8 usually.
Yeah, it's usually lane 1 or 8, but it doesn't count towards like the placing. So they don't get like a place ribbon, but they still get a time. It still counts if they beat their time. We still are very excited for them when they're swimming exhibition, and there's usually 2 exhibitions, so like 1 from our team and 1 from the other team. Sorry, I wrote a lot down. If you have concerns, please email or speak to me before or after practices or like meets, because I'm focused on like them, and I really, if you do have concerns, I want my attention to be like fully into those concerns and not half into the pool, half onto your concerns. So, if your child doesn't come to practice, unfortunately, like those who do, we will put them, in like the priority events, because we're seeing them and we're seeing how they're practicing and we're seeing, them progressing and everything. So that's just honestly what happens. We talked about the socks and the gym shoes, sunscreen and water. I don't want your kids getting dehydrated, and I don't want them getting sunburned. It just is not good. So please always make sure that they have water bottles, and that you're putting sunscreen on them if they're little guys, or like if they're older, they're putting sunscreen on before practice. I ask that our swimmers treat others with respect. you know, obviously we're all here to have fun. We are competing, but we're also having fun. We're trying to make memories as a team. So if they treat us with respect and each other with respect, it'll be a really, really great year. If you declare for a meet, so that's when you sign up your child for the meet and you say like they can either go or they can't go, and then you don't show up or you don't like send an email letting us know that you're going to be running late to the meet or something happened where you can't come, your child will be scratched. And if you do show up and you haven't let us know, then we only have a small amount of time before the meet starts to make changes. So unfortunately, if we've scratched your child from the meet, we can't like pop them back in. So that happened a few times last year. I just want to make sure like everybody knows that. Also, please don't leave a meet without letting us know, like if your kid gets sick or like something's going on, family emergency, you gotta leave. Because if we know, then we can scratch them and put somebody else in their spot instead of just getting like up to the race and then they don't step up, then we just get disqualified. So it's better if you let us know. This year we are going to do the big and little Barracudas again. So that's where we pair an older swimmer with a younger swimmer. And it really helps the younger guys feel more comfortable. They get like accustomed to the team a lot more, and it almost brings like a family atmosphere. The older kids will cheer them on in races, and then the younger kids will get excited to go see their big Barracuda swim, and it's awesome to watch like the bonds that get made. We encourage parent volunteering. They're gonna talk about it, but we literally do not run without our parents. We love our parents. They are great to us. They are so special. Let me see. If your child has camps or other sports and needs to like miss a practice or practice at a different time, please let me know. I might say yes or I might say no. It just depends on if we have like if someone's on vacation and how many kids we have and all that kind of stuff. Your child will be sore and tired. But they'll gain endurance. I'm sorry. Please encourage them. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
The big sign, right? You'll have a lot of fun, you know.
Joey, you need this. Sorry, guys.
Where are we?
Just explain to you.
So towards the end of the season, when conference shows up, we have this thing called paper, which is sort of, practice becomes a little bit, easier is not the right word. It's a little more relaxed, and we focus purely on technique rather than endurance or strength training. So it's not as vigorous, but it's still the same amount as engaging in order to prepare our kids for conference. So get good times, do good against all the other teams. It's a fun time of the year. Okay, got everything?
Yeah, also,
Okay, sorry guys. We will have days where we do a lot of like team bonding activities. So usually it's cool like every Thursday after our Wednesday meets. We'll have practice, but then we'll play like a really fun game with the kids at the end as like a reward for like doing well at the meet. We did move up to the highest division last year, so we're expecting a little bit of like a higher competitiveness. Thank you. And then we also ask that you guys, if you have younger kids, just like sitting on the bleachers for the first couple practices will usually help your kids get more accustomed to not looking for mom and dad, like listening to us more, not getting out of the pool, not being so afraid. New swimmer evals are on Tuesday. So like Mr. Travis said, we're just going to watch your kids, see if they can swim a whole lap. If they can, great. But if they can't, it's unfortunately for their safety. It's not us being mean. We want all of your kids, but it really is a safety thing. We don't want to have to be watching 5 kids who can't swim. You know, it's the lifeguards and then everything gets chaotic. But if you guys have any concerns, please email me. I did get a new email. I don't know if it's on the website. I can give it to you. Sorry guys.
Stop doing that.
The first practice is next week. So I'll meet again with like the returning parents too. And if you guys have emailed me questions like from now until that first practice, I'll respond, but then I'll also go over all the questions that I got at that first practice because I'm sure many people have like the same or similar questions. So Yeah, that's all I have. I know it was a lot, sorry.
Tom?
Wow, I don't have as much. Let's see, my name is Tom Walsh. I'm the springboard diving coach now for Bloomingdale. I started coaching high school diving in 2014. Won my Bartlett Park District program, started to bring in kids at the high school level. Let's see, so in last year, I coached South Elgin High School along with 3 other high schools. One was Lake Park High School. Lake Park High School reached out to me because they had 2 divers, boy divers, that they wanted to dive at the end of year meets, and if they scored points, Lake Park was going to have a greater chance of winning the meet. And years past, they were losing by a few points because they didn't have divers. So they got a couple divers, and they helped allow Lake Park to win the sectional meet last year for the boys team, which was they were really happy about. So I've been teaching little ones from the age of about 8. Some parents bringing them in at 6. But at about 8 years old up through, well, age 88. So I don't know if we'll get any older divers on the team. I think our program starts on the 9th of June, which is a Friday. And we are going to have 3 diving meets in the regular season and then a conference ending meet. We'll be going up against Bartlett Park District, which is another program that I run. I've reached out to Lombard. I think we're going to be able to compete against them and maybe a couple other park districts. I might be able to combine them and bring them in here for some competition. I'll get you all my contact information if you have any questions. And diving's a lot of fun. My only requirement is that the kid can swim. Because chasing them into the water 2 or 3 times, I get tired. Okay, if they can't swim. And I've had parents bring me, 2 parents in the last 14, 15 years where the kid couldn't swim. And by the end, they stayed in the class and I taught them how to swim, or at least get to the top. So we can help. Thank you.
All right. So, at this time, if parents, you're comfortable with this, we'd ask the coaches to please take our new swimmers and divers out, head out toward the entrance area, that little lobby area, and you can have a chance to talk with them, just as swimmers and divers. And parents, we will continue our part of the conversation. All right. All right, let's start with the orders first. So Nancy, if you'd like us to address the orders that were made and expectations for when they can come in and all that kind of good stuff.
Sure. So swimmers, or used to be Swimmers Edge, it's now 23 Aquatics. All of the orders went through them. They kept their site open, so if you have not ordered something or if you want to get an extra suit,
Right there on the website.
or if your children want sweatshirts, whatever. The only thing that cannot be ordered at this point is the personalized caps, because those have to be ordered in bulk because of the way that they're done by the manufacturer. Everything else can still be ordered. 23 Aquatics will let you know when you place your order the expected time you can pick it up from the store.
Yeah, the caps are generally ordered at like sign-up night, right? Wednesday night and
Yeah.
Saturday? So you could put the order in ahead of time, right?
We did order some additional latex caps that we will be selling at the meets. So if somebody's cap ripped, it's just a generic blue cap, so that if your child's cap rips, we will have spares that you can pick up for a very reasonable price at the meet. We've got hats.
We do have hats to buy, so come and see me and get you set up.
We will also have goggles that can be purchased at the meets, as well as the bungee cords, because sometimes the cords around your goggles do break, and so we have those at the meet. Yes, ma'am.
So there's a specific swimsuit and swim trunks for boys. Do we have to buy like the outerwear, like the sweatpants and sweatshirt? Is that required?
The only item that is required is either the trunks for the boys or the suit for the girls. Everything else is optional. Yes, sir. Dave? Caps are optional, but they are recommended, especially for people with longer hair, boys and girls. My son originally refused to wear both goggles and caps. He has finally, as a high school swimmer, decided that, yeah, perhaps that does help with making life easier as a swimmer. Yes.
Once ordered for the bathing suits, about how long does it take for them to come in?
So that's something I'm going to send you to 23 Aquatics. They've put the bulk order in already, but I told them at the beginning of the season approximately how many kids we have and approximately the size range of our kids. So they may have made arrangements with the manufacturer to be able to get extra suits in our sizes, which are about 30, 32 to size 40, which is about my size, if you're thinking.
Our hope is,
Yeah.
if you order at the early registration, that we will have the suits by the June 2nd picture day.
Yes.
That's the typical expectation from the store. Since COVID, their supply issues have been a mess, all right, and it hasn't always happened. And if it's not here by then, we'd ask you just put them in a generic suit as best you can, because honestly, they're going to Photoshop them all together anyway, in the big picture. But the expectation is that will be here in time if you order it early. If you order it later, and then it'll come in later, you know.
And it's required, a suit is required.
And we push the suits just because when you're swimming against Roselle, they wear black and red. We wear the black and blue. It's best to have some kind of differentiation for the timers and the judges when they're looking at the swimmers, who's in what lane, who's on what, all of that. It does help to have the suit as we get into the season. Yes, not everybody wears them all the time, but you want to be somewhat consistent with the suits.
We used to have the extras to try on for the sizes, is that?
That we had for the early registration, but we don't, that was the store that brought a rep up here for us.
But you can still go to the
Yeah.
store and you can size, they can size them there.
They'll happily help you.
Oh, where's the store?
It's 23 Aquatics in Woodridge.
Woodridge, off of James Avenue.
If you click here too, it'll give you the address
Oh,
at the store, phone number, all that.
got it.
So I did purchase like the suit for my daughter, like I think a week after the early registration, and it gave me a date to pick up.
Yes.
It won't be with the bulk order,
Okay,
right?
Right.
Like it won't, I'll just go on my own?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing that I will be, that I told the store I'm responsible for bringing to picture day will be the bulk order cap. So if you
so
have,
everything else is either being shipped to you directly or will be you going down to pick up, depending on how you did your order online. Those are the two options that we had, except for the caps. That was handled through us.
yeah.
Okay, any other questions on apparel right now?
What do they wear for practice? Do they wear these?
Something that stays on, you know, I mean, that's what they mean. I'm serious. My son has like threadbare old suits. I'm like, you can't wear that anymore, okay? But it's something that stays on. It can be pink, it can be red, whatever they want, okay? That's fine. And that way they save their competition suit for the Saturdays and the meets. It's a little better, but some of them wear the same thing all the time, like my son. All right, background check forms. Hopefully everybody filled out the background check waiver stuff when they registered, all right? That's important. If you don't remember doing that, the front desk will happily give you one just to put your signature on. I know sometimes husband and wives do it for each other. That's fine. It's more about the name and the address than anything else, okay? I've done my wife for 3 years. She did me for 3 years before that. So please, they are important. We want to make sure, and our district want to make sure that everybody who's on the deck around all these kids running around in their bathing suits is someone that we can feel confident is. That's just what it's about, okay? So they don't want anybody who has a record. You can understand what I'm saying with this, okay? So swim team is unlike when my son was doing like soccer, doing soccer still, or baseball. You don't get to sit on the sidelines and sit your chair up and, you know, watch. And video. You can video, but you got to get involved or it doesn't run, okay? It can require like 90 people to get up here and help throughout a swim meet. It's just how it works. It doesn't happen. The park district does not pay us. They don't pay anybody but the lifeguards to make sure everybody's safe. So what are the jobs that have to happen? There are a ton of them. For people that are brand new, that have never done this before, and for people that have experience as swimmers themselves as children, like that, there is stuff for you to do that is so important. So to make it happen here, we have the site and the app for you to volunteer on. So if you go and look in here, for instance, on the calendar, you will see, and on the app it also works the same way. Boy, this is running slow. Okay, so you'll see in here dates. One of those dates is today. And you will see in there that there are ways you can help commit yourself to get involved. So Carroll Stream is going to be swimming here. Their team is coming over here on the June 7th, all right? So you can see in here there's something called job sign up and attend decline. Well, attend decline is all about, can your child be there? Okay, maybe they have a school function that night, they're not going to be able to get there. So you click on attend decline either on the app or on the website, and it gives you a couple options here. And it'll say you're committed or not committed to that website. It really, really, really helps if you decline or commit for every single meet, whether you can be there or not. If you don't do anything, then we assume you're not going to be there. That's just the assumption. So it's sometimes hard, as Gabby mentioned, when a parent comes in and says, we're here, you didn't tell us you were going to be here, and we set up the lineups 2 days ago. So that makes it very hard. What am I waiting for?
Actually, I will tell you, as somebody who has worked the computer at the meets, if you have a whole bunch of people coming at the very last minute and saying, you know, my kid's here, my kid's not here, we have a limited amount of time from the time we set that computer up to when we have to print the programs to make those changes.
It's very hard on the coaches. When they have 120 kids to work with, it's very hard to make switches. So you'll see here, Carroll Stream Swimming at Bloomingdale, okay, this is my name, Travis, my wife, Michelle, and Brian. And then here, I'm in here now because I work as a judge, I help out. But my son Connell is here. Right now, he is undeclared. I have no idea, the coaches have no idea if he's going to be involved or not. So I click on that, and I select, see, please sign Connell up for the event, or no, he cannot attend this event. So I click on that, and if there's something specific, he has to leave early for a soccer game. Or he'll arrive at a certain time. If you can be really specific as much as you can, that helps the coaches enormously to say, all right, he can be in the first half of the meet, but not the second half, all right? It makes it much easier. So please, if you can do that. If you're not sure, and it's a really couple-hour difference between whether they could be there or not, probably shouldn't go there, because chances are they'll end up missing an event. And I click Save Changes, and then it shows, see, Connell is now committed. Whether it's on the app or on your website, please use it. If you know your schedule for the summer, go through, mark all 8. I'm going to be on vacation. These 2 meets, I won't be there. I'll be there for the rest of them, okay? Mark it all up, okay? It's better ahead of time so you have it done. Yes?
So once you committed, say they like come down with a fever or something, can you like
So-
click on it again and?
You have a little bit of a buffer there. So if it's the night before, the lineups are probably already done. So that's when you just send the coach an email and say, hey, I'm so sorry, he has 102 fever, came down after school Friday night, and it's Saturday morning, he's not going to be able to come. Then the coach will say, okay, we'll scratch them for tomorrow. Got it. But if you know 3 days ahead of time, go up here and see, I can change it. Say no thanks, or I can say select no, whatever, and then change what it will be. So I just made it, he's uncommitted. Nope, I have to make some selection once a minute. So now I'm going to say you can't attend. So you just do that. But when you get in here, and if it won't let you do it, that means it's too late. That means they've taken everybody who's going to go and they put it into the lineups. And why do lineups matter? We have relays. There are 4 in a relay. Guess what happens if, you get it? And they're trying to think, can I sub someone else in, or the whole relay gets scratched? It's hard. Okay, so you do your best as a parent and the kid. We don't want them swimming sick, but you do your best as you can with that. All right.
But yeah, day of illnesses happen, family emergencies happen.
They do.
Just call the coach, let them know. They will understand, because situations happen. But if you can be planful and let them know in advance, that really helps us out a bunch.
So, as a parent now, I talked about jobs. So, we all try to help make this swim team run. And it requires a lot of people to jump in as it's loading up here. And on the app or the website, there we go. Okay, so tons and tons of jobs that you can sign up for. If you have a great announcing voice, I'll give you a microphone, okay? All this kind of stuff. But some of the easier things to do are I won't say it's easy, but you get to work with John, so it's just amazing. We have concessions, all right? So if you just want to help out for like part of the meet, where you get to step out, watch your child, you know they're going to be in events, 18 and 28 and 38, which you of course are going to write on your hand with a Sharpie when you get there in the morning. That's just what you do, okay? And then John will say, here, I'm going to flip burgers. Here, I want you to help run the till and sell the stuff like that, help sell drinks, help with that kind of stuff. It happens. Why do we run a concession stand? Well, of course, everybody's hungry, and that way they're not running to Starbucks all the time. But it helps pay for the awards. It helps pay for ribbons. It helps pay for recognition. It helps do a lot of things in the background that helps make the team function much more smoothly. Would you like to talk to
What's our most recent addition, if you want to share?
We are having a scoreboard installed. One of the big electronic ones to put up in here on one of the leg poles, like that. So
Yeah.
we're
So Itasca can't be the only ones that have a very nice board. Because Itasca's a nice place, but we're just as nice, but we're going to be nicer.
So that means you have to sell lots of hot dogs and lots of hamburgers, we gotta pay for that.
It's a big revenue producer for us, right? It's a great fun spot to work as concession, because everybody comes by there, To Brian's point on volunteering, guys, it's a lot of fun, because yes, all right, how do I work this time? How do I do this? How do I adjust to these different components of the whole team, right? But it's a lot of fun as you get to where I've got neighbors here and friends here tonight, and many I don't know, but I'm going to see you out there we'll see each other out there on either here or another pool, another parks and It's a lot of fun. You're going to develop a lot of relationships, and your kids are going to have a lot of fun. They're guaranteed they're going to have a lot of fun because you're going to feel that pressure to win. They're going to get that, not just to win, but to beat their own time. That's such a great sport because the big challenge is, yes, in a relay, you want to beat the other relays, but oftentimes when you're swimming, you want to beat your own time, and that's the biggest reward. So, it's good to see it. But getting back to concessions, it is a revenue producer for our team, so we could go ahead and have a nice, we've got a really big team. Just when I started here, I think I know we weren't 100, we're 120 something now, and we were probably 80, 70, 80 kids.
And COVID knocked us down, and we're jumping back up, how it is.
But, the team is still big, and we're in Conference A now, right?
We're in a white division.
White division. So we won that last year, and our team just keeps getting better. We got great coaches, as you saw that they were on the team previously too. So they're just, they're still around. They know what it's like to be in their shoes and all that. But the volunteering is a lot of fun. You're going to have a lot of fun with other parents, and it gives you an opportunity to try different spots. And it's well needed though, because it is, as Brian said, it's all a volunteer team. So board members, every spot on it. It takes the parents to run it.
Some people do the same thing every time. Like if you find your niche and you like to do it, you can sign up every time. Some people like to float. Find what your interest is. Are you techie? Then maybe you do something with scoring or the computers. Do you like little ones? Then you can be like a child wrangler and work the bullpen. If you want a front seat for the action, be a timer. You don't need to know anything other than hit when they start, hit when they stop. It's very easy and you'll get an explanation. So look at the different things and see. There's something for everybody, no matter what your interests are. If you're introverted, extroverted, there's things that you don't have to talk to anybody. There's things that you can talk the whole time. So there's probably 25 different things, more or less, that you can find something. And you only work for the half. It's not the entire meet. You can sign up for the whole meet, but otherwise there's 2 different sessions. So you can, if you've got a little ones that are going to be sleeping, and you just want to do the first one so you can hang low with them at the end. And there are jobs you can have little kids with you. So like if you've got toddlers or you've got, 4 or 5-year-olds and you still need to volunteer, you can still do a bullpen or something like that with your little ones in tow. So, we definitely have something for them too.
Also, if sometimes the meets aren't convenient for you, you could help with ribbons, you could help with t-shirts, you could help with the breakfasts or the pasta dinners. There are things that if you've got your little person with you, we can definitely find something that works well for you. Event Turner is a nice one where you're sitting down, handing out the Beat My Times. Beat My Time is a huge thing for us. It's where the kids are recognized each time they swim faster in an event than they have before, and they are so excited.
So we try to recognize your work as you volunteer. So I keep a spreadsheet, essentially, that has every family name. And so when you sign up and you fulfill a job, okay, like for instance, if you decide to do event turner poolside for the first half, here, so you're on the side of the pool, you listen to the ref, they say, okay, this is event 22. You flip a chart, and it now shows everybody that we're in 22s in the water, like that, and you get credit for that. And then on the spreadsheet, I mark down and you get credit for that. If you have a husband and wife, maybe you do first half, you do the second half, you switch the kid, things like that. And as you go meet by meet by meet, you get 30 or 40 credits. And then what we do, just to kind of incentivize it and get the kids excited too, is we, however many times you volunteer, we print out a slip with your name on it. It goes into a big Christmas can, like that. And then our big final, dinner, like that. We bring out the smallest kid we can find, they dig their hand in there and say, we're pulling out chances, okay? Like that. And we give away gift cards and a free membership for next year and all kinds of stuff like that. We do a lot of stuff, people donate things to us. It's just kind of fun, gets the kids excited too, and it helps, say thank you as much as we can for the work and what you're doing. As she mentioned, some of these things like these are just sit-down jobs. Okay, you're up in the bleachers for one, you're down on the court side. And if it's a hot sunny day, we put umbrellas out. If it's raining, hopefully it's not, we put an umbrella over you, things like that. If you have an 8 and under boy or a girl, these are great to sign up for, because what you do then is you put up a little tent in the side here on the football field, and you put a blanket out, and your son, who's now made friends with 7 other or 8 and under boys, all pile in there, and they all talk and stuff like that. And okay guys, event 1 is coming up, we got to get in the water, okay? And you walk them up like ducklings to the pool, and then the bullpen takes over and helps usher them onto the deck and such. So we recommend you consider it if you have the inclination. Timing's a lot of fun. It's one of these things you do first and second half. You don't need to know anything. Almost all these jobs we train you the day of. Okay, so I recommend try a couple different things. I'll tell you like first half for timing. If it's an evening like that and you have a young one, do first half timing, because they're the youngest guy. They're not going to be swimming in the second half, the last couple events. The younger ones don't. They get to go home early. Also, just for the parent point of view, if you like the action, lane 4 and 5 are the best, because that's where the action almost always is. That's the real competitive bit in the middle. And if you like to take it easy, then do lane 1 and 8. They don't always swim every single event. So you have a lot of options here. If it says certified, don't sign up for that unless you have been actually certified. We actually run a class, which we have a couple coming up at the end of this month and beginning of the next month. The turn judge. And these are the kind of things you do after you've done a season or 2, so you understand what's going on in the water, and we teach you what everything should look like. So other teams, unfortunately, they'll charge like $100 extra fee, and you get that back at the end of the season. We try to do it in reverse. We try to incentivize, get you out there, get you to help and such, and then give you a reward afterwards. It's worked for us for the past several years, and we're going to keep on doing it. We like to do that. Most meets keep to the schedule, but sometimes things go wrong and the weather or just something runs slow like that, they will go long. So if you have to leave because you have an appointment, whatever, and you can't be there till 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning because things happen like that, just let the coaches know, as they say. And the same thing for those Wednesday nights, okay? It gets too cold, things like that, you can't bundle them up enough and you have to go because you have work next day or whatever like that. Let the coaches know that you just can't stay to the end. I mean, do your best to, but I understand that's how it works.
Or if you're late for work, just sign up for second half. If you have a job that runs a little late, just plan accordingly.
So, once you get comfortable with this, or if you've been on another team before, you're eligible to take one of these certification classes, and we encourage you to do so. There's a judge level, then there's the referee starter level, and once you get to a meet, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about after a meet or 2 as we do this work. But if, just on a point of reference, they are on our schedule here. May 31st is one of them, and I run another one then on June 1st here. And there'll be parents from all different park districts around the area. This room will be filled with 40, 50 people all taking classes, recertifying or getting certified for the first time. So we're hoping Bloomingdale will have a strong showing also. We talked about the clearing, we talked about the signups, etc. like that. Okay. We do need you to check that you're getting our emails. I'm assuming all of you have gotten an email so far from the system. If you have not, that means we have an email wrong. We have an address wrong, and we want to fix that as soon as possible for you. I strongly recommend that you get the, let's just search it up now so you can see it. So the On Deck Swim app, the Apple of course has one, and then Google Play has one too. But that's the icon there. That's what it looks like. And then you use the same email and login that you use for the website. And that gets you in here, and I guess I find it more convenient. It gives you a notification. Practice is canceled this morning. And if you have a 8:30 practice, 8 o'clock, they send you a note saying, hey, the weather's looking bad, we can't do this, it's raining too hard, like that, they may just have to cancel. Okay? Sometimes we get to the gym and they'll say, bring your gym shoes. We're going to go run inside, we're going to have to play a game inside to get that cardio going if they can't get it outside. Okay. That's what the app looks like. It's on the front screen of my phone because that's where it's used the most.
Do you have a question there?
I do, I have two questions actually. Can grandparents get the On Deck app if they don't have a login to the
You need to
website?
give them your login if you want them to have access.
Okay,
And that's fine. And we have a number of families who, there are 3 or 4 people logging into the same account.
okay.
That way.
So if my dad was a judge and wanted to sign up, I could sign him up?
Yes.
Through my app?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. And my second question was, these judge classes,
Mhm.
they're one-day classes, you don't have to go to all 3?
One day. And if he's been a judge before within this conference,
Uh-huh.
then he can just come and get recertified if he's up for that.
Sure.
You get your judge certification is 2 years.
So the class would do research and new cert?
Yes. Yes, we do judges for the first hour and 15 minutes, and then people who are getting recertified, we just mark off and they're done.
Okay.
People who are for the first time, they take a little bit of a test, you know, but you have all the notes there. We give you everything, you know, there's videos and all this kind of stuff. And then we do the referee starter after that. And that's for 45 minutes. And again, if you're new, take a test with all the notes that you have. And then if you've already done it before, then you just get marked off that you haven't done it. If he wants to receive emails about information, you can add up to 4 additional emails on the site to the app that they can get notifications about stuff and information about stuff. But the login is one single email to actually go in and do things like that. So that's the one catch about it. So if your family lives in 2 different houses and things like that, which happens like that, we would get them 2 different logins if you need to have it done that way. And that's just what it is.
And then with the text, with phone numbers, if you want to get the text numbers, you need to go onto the website and put your phone number and your carrier. So if you have Verizon or T-Mobile or Boost or whatever it is, because otherwise our text can't go out to you because they need to know which carrier your phone number is associated with.
If you're on multiple teams and you meet on deck, you can switch teams.
Yes,
for this
on
team.
the app, like we did Elk Grove Village, for the winter, so we had the 2 different, every time we open an app, we'll say, what do you want to do, Elk Grove Village or Bloomingdale?
And then do we also use Meet Mobile or we do not?
No. Also, do you have multiple family members who are possibly going to do jobs? So if, like with Brian and Michelle, he might put himself as doing judging for the first half, and so when he signs up, he would put Brian in parentheses as the person who's going to do it. And then Michelle usually works in the scoreroom, so they would put Michelle for whatever half she's going to work, so that we know for sign-ins which of the Travis parents is going to be working which job.
Yeah. So you see in the app here, let's say, so there's my cell number, and I go in here, I click, and they give me this gigantic list, and I go down and find T-Mobile, which is what I am, like that. I do the same thing for my wife, which Nancy, this was not selected, and I know I selected it before. Our website just got updated this year. We resisted it, and they just kind of did it anyway, so I saved that.
It did screwy things, so I apologize in advance. Also, if you had an email you were using and you wanted to switch your login email, you have to go in using your old one, and then you have to switch it yourself. Otherwise, I have to build you a whole new account, which I'm willing to do.
Actually,
but
I contacted the website host, and they did it for us.
Yes.
So, but they had to do it on their end. They wouldn't let us change the main login one. I was like, what? Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So we got an email that said claim your account from the Barracudas. Is that what?
Is that the login message now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they
Sets
changed
you up
a
with
few
an app.
things.
It was like May 3rd, they sent it.
Yeah, that would have been about the right time.
Yeah.
And
And we only get 1 account per household? or-
Yes,
Okay.
it's your
So-
main account for the household.
All right, so we would have to use 1 email address?
Yeah, and my wife has it on hers, I have it on mine, the same email address. But if you want to get messages like on a work email, you can add in 4 more. But they aren't login emails, they're just for receiving messages.
Okay.
But there's one for the household. If you have 5 swimmers, it's 1 login to go and do anything, if you will.
However, I'm divorced, and so I have my login email, and my ex-husband has his login email, so that we can both see what's going on with our son's information without interfering with one another, so it can happen if you need it that way.
Oh, so you can do it separate? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, we can make a separate account for each house of the family, if that's what we need to do, yes.
it's more convenient for everything to be under one, but we can break it into two
But
if needed.
the
The swimmer is only under one.
The child is
account.
under one or the other because all of their results show up within a day or two up online and on the phone. So you can see how they swam, what their times were, if they beat their time from before, all the results. You know, I have ones going back many, many years for my own children on here. That's what comes up on the phone app, but it's for one. login
Yeah,
account.
so my son's information is all under me, but his dad can sign up to do jobs under his own, and he can see when the meets are, so he has some visibility, but not everything.
So, but if, let's say we want to get text messages or, you know, through the,
Yeah, you
You
can
can-
have
you
that.
can
do
put it
I,
up with
so
school.
do we, if we're using the same account?
Yep.
You just have to add the email.
You have about 4 different phone numbers get messages on this.
Okay, gotcha.
My son gets it, my daughter gets it, I get mine.
Okay.
They
Yeah,
all
my-
get it at one time.
My son has his phone number on there now, so he can get things too.
So to confirm, Sports Engine owns Team Unify,
Yes.
Team Unify is on deck.
Yes.
Okay,
Isn't that
got it.
crazy?
It's all in there.
Been
Well,
changing.
I'm not crazy anymore now that I see the NBC logo. Makes perfect sense. They're just crazy.
You're right.
Yes, ma'am.
So how many days in advance do you need to know the attend decline?
Usually they do it 2 days in advance because,
Sometimes more though.
oh,
So if it's a Wednesday night meet, generally they want to have it in by midnight on Sunday. Because then the coaches Monday have to put their, especially your away meets, they have to send the lineups ahead of time to the other team. So generally you need to have it, you need to know by Sunday. And I send out reminders habitually for everybody. It's a habit I've developed. So I will say, okay, this is our next meet. You need to declare or decline by this time. Please remember to. And then also, if there's a number of people who have just forgotten to do anything, it lets me select those very quickly and shoot it out and say, hey, just a reminder, you know, if you still want to go, this is last chance. And then also those emails will say, it's an away meet. It's Wednesday night. You know, bring some, you know, extra towels and maybe a bathrobe for your child. It looks like it's going to be chilly or it's going to be warm. Or if it's an Itasca, I'll say bring your bug spray, you know, because they're right along the preserve there, and it's just what it is, you know. Whereas most of them, or like ours, we don't have a whole lot of bug problems. But some do. We'll always say what that is, you know, or bring an umbrella. It's going to be a hot sunny day. No sunburn, please. Things like that. And it's just all that kind of stuff gets thrown in the messaging just so you can be prepared. Also, the addresses will be in there. So there'll be a hot link in the email you can click on to a Google map. It'll take you to, you know, Hanover Park or wherever it's going to be, or Woodridge, or the really confusing one is Butterfield, because if you look it up online, it like takes you here when it's really over here. It drives me nuts. So I try to get those out specifically to you, so you're not going to, you know, somewhere on the wrong side of Roosevelt Road to get to a swim meet and such like that. So I try to make it as easy for you as you can. And also on the website, there is a whole thing about the directions and how to get there. The best way in. We update this each year in case something changes. But you'll see it says pool locations here, and it is useful. So ours is there, of course, but then each of them are here. With that directions, this physical, this is the verbal way. But most people use the map on their phone now. I'm telling you, Itasca's and Butterfield, I swear they put it online wrong, just so people can't get there.
So Sunday morning, by Sunday morning, declare if it's a Wednesday meet, and then by like Wednesday morning if it's a Saturday meet, so our coaches have time to get the information to the other record keeper if it's away, or the other record keeper can get it to us so we can combine files. It's a lot of work, but it just helps out.
But it becomes like a family. You get to know people really quickly. Your kids get to know the other kids, and they'll say, you know, you'll leave here on a Saturday, you're hot and tired, want to go home, and the kid's like, can we go back to the pool, my friend? You know, things like that. It's kind of crazy, but with a little bit of time and stuff like that, you'll get used to the routine and such like that. And can you work every meet? No, but you do what you can. You do your best like that. And we'll try to incentivize it for you and make it fun as we
Is there a
can.
certain number of volunteer slots you want each family to fulfill?
We try to get everybody to do one half of every meet, like that. My wife and I will split it up. Sometimes we'll do the whole, you know. Yeah, we've had people bring their grandparents and then sign them up too, so they get like 4 credits in one meet, you know, things like that. That's up to you, you know. Yeah.
Listen, one of us has to watch the kids.
My father, if I don't assign my father a job, he'll start trying to fix things around the deck, okay? So I assign him, okay, you're timing, okay? You're gonna help him beat my time, because otherwise he starts taking things apart and putting them back together, because that's how he is, you know? They have not kidnapped your children, they're just having fun, I promise. You know? Other questions? So you want a lawn chair, you really, really do, because it will get, like when Woodridge comes up here. A team, you know, we're 120, they're 160. You know, this is a huge geographical area. They want a lot of people. And when they come in here, it just gets full, and we're going to be out in the football field. like that. So you want to, if you have a canopy, a tent, something you can set up over your heads, it helps, just to be out there. Such, bring some blankets, put down, stuff like that. Bring some fruit, bring some to drink like that. Well, he has stuff to sell too, but something for the kids to snack on. But that way they'll get used to their friends and all pile up in one place and they'll talk, they'll be on their phones like that until you say, okay, event 6 is coming up, time to get in the water, stuff like that. Yes.
So on average, how long would you say they last?
The meets.
Yes.
So they're scheduled, for instance, like from 6:30 until 9:30. The optimistic one is 3 hours. Most meets are not 3 hours. They tend to push, 3.5 like that. But sometimes with the smaller teams, like when we do Carroll Stream, unless something dramatic has changed, they're small. So it tends to go really, really fast and stuff like that. But 3 hours is what you're assuming here. So if it starts at, if we're starting at 8 a.m., you'll be out of here by 11 kind of thing. And hopefully before that.
I have another question. So about how many times does the kids swim per meet?
So 5 is the absolute max.
3 to 5.
3 to 5, but typically it's closer to 4, I would say. So they're allowed to have 3 individuals, where they just are competing against themselves or against other swimmers, and then 2 relays. Or it could be 4 individuals and 1 relay, or again, it could be 2 and 3 like that, and the coaches will decide. And typically, if you're brand new in the water, they're not going to do that to you. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. So they're going to say, okay, we're going to do 3 here, sometimes 2, especially if they've missed a lot from vacation, they'll probably end up in 2, like that, until they get better and better. The coaches want to have them swim in as many strokes as possible to make sure they know what they're doing. So, disqualification, DQ slip, that's not Dairy Queen. So, what happens? They're doing a swim, they're going across the pool, and they have trouble with a stroke. They're going to get a DQ slip. They'll say, you didn't do this right in the stroke, you have to try again next time, and they won't get a ribbon for that. They'll just get a slip that says, this is what you need to improve on. Well, it goes to the coach, so the coach can then see, oh, okay, Lucy did this, Lucy's having trouble with her kick or her stroke or her arms, to help them improve what they're doing. And that's and they might get a couple of those. They might get a bunch. My son was a miserable mess when he was 5 years old. With practice, they get better and better. Halfway through the season, suddenly they're not getting them anymore. Okay? And that's what the coaches do. They teach them how to do that. But don't be alarmed if they get a couple of these yellow slips that just say, hey, we got to work on the breaststroke, the butterfly, backstroke, whatever. It'll get better as it goes. But that's what their job is. They teach them what to do and how to get across that pool in the best way possible. Everybody, we got 90% rule. 90% of the kids come back?
I was the last one out, so yeah.
We're good. 100%. That's a good start. All right.
One thing to think about is there are a few things you will want to bring with you to every meet. About 2 to 4 towels, depending on how many events your kids.
Sharpie to write
You're
down what
going to
events
want a Sharpie to write down their events. If you don't want to have that same Sharpie on your skin, take a picture of your kid's hand with your phone. You're going to want bug spray. You're going to want sunscreen for you and your kids. Maybe an umbrella. You will want some snacks and water. And sometimes you will want a sweatshirt or sweatpants for both you and your kids. Some of the meets, especially in the evenings, can get a bit chilly at the start of the season. Sometimes you will want Band-Aids because they stub their toes. And spare goggles because sometimes they throw them into trees.
And don't forget your kids, those are important.
Yes, please. If you can't be there for a meet and you're going to pick them up afterwards, try to make an arrangement with another parent who lives near you or something like that, because it's hard when we're out there with one swimmer and the coaches and the board. We're waiting for that one poor child whose dad is rushing from the airport. Whatever it is, try to make arrangements ahead of time, because that can be hard, on the child too. That can be hard.
But we do work the buddy system a lot. Your kids are going to make a pile of friends and just have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. And there's a Facebook page. Make sure you request to join. And so say, you have, your suit doesn't come in by the time you have the first pictures. Post, my suit didn't come in, is anyone selling one, or can I borrow one if you need one? As you get more comfortable, feel free to say, hey, I'm going to be late to the meet. Is there someone that can, help me out? We're all family here, and if we're not yet, we will be by the end of the summer. So use it as a resource, ask questions. There's no dumb questions. Offer things if, or if you need a carpool or whatever, that's what it's there for. And if for some reason, if we can't verify, sometimes parents have different names in their kids, if we can't verify that, you have a swimmer, Brian and I are admin, feel free to like message us and say, hey, you know, this is my kid, because if we don't recognize your name, we're not going to let you join. So,
Yeah. Feel free, let us know.
yeah, let us know, or if you see us at practice, just say, hey, I requested a no one approved me, and we will.
Also, if you guys email me with questions and I don't have the answer, I don't want to give you guys wrong information, so I will direct your question to one of these lovely people who help me out.
Just see us at practice, or
Yeah.
we're approachable.
For the website,
They should be on the website.
Coaches.
It should be posted.
email at the top of the site. It says site, Facebook, coaches site map here, and I'll make sure your email is right. Okay, so you'll see them up here,
Yes.
the coaches. It's a great smile, Gabby.
Thank you. That was my senior high school.
Mr. Trout, that's not my email.
Oh, don't go anywhere. We will not, we'll fix it before you go. It's a good thing the season hasn't started yet, really. Okay. Any other questions? All right, 8 o'clock, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Feel free to come on up if you want to ask something specific.
And welcome. You're very